Join me today as we organize and refresh the kitchen. I'm starting here with the area that I store all of my baking supplies in and some of my spices. We've taken everything out of here, and Grant is going to put a shelf at the very top so that way I can store the items that are my backup supplies. I'm so excited about this. Every once in a while, I like to look through my kitchen and re-evaluate how everything is functioning. We had gone to the store and stocked up on a lot of ingredients so I could start making more food from scratch and baking more things at home. This is a journey that I'm starting, and I will be sharing that on my channel. I'm just excited to start doing more things homemade, made from scratch in my kitchen, and I needed a way to organize this a lot better. The top part was a whole bunch of wasted space, so while we are going to redo our kitchen eventually, for now I wanted to make the most out of this by having Grant just add a piece of wood at the top of this cupboard. I will link all of these containers that I'm using down below, as well as the risers, pretty much every organizational thing I use. I will try to link down below in case you're looking for something similar, but I already had all of these things in my kitchen and other areas of my house. I decided to pull them all together and use them in these cupboards today to get organized, because I love to reuse things when I can, but of course I had to originally buy them at some point, so I will link them all down below. So at the very top, clearly I cannot reach that without some sort of step stool, and that's why I've just put backup stuff that I won't need until I need to refill one of the spices. Then down here we have the spices that we use pretty regularly but not all the time, and then here's all the baking stuff that I use pretty often, and then here I have all the random powders that I do use, but I'm not using them every day, so they're kind of out of the way. Then this is the flour. I'm currently using the whole wheat flour, but I did buy a flour mill, and I'm going to be going on a journey to mill my own flour soon. This is where we keep our constant use spices. So every time we cook, we're using all of these, and as you can see, I like to just refill them when they get low, and that's where I would use the backup spices. I can't believe how well this is already functioning for us. Before, whenever I opened it, I just got overwhelmed, but now I know where everything is, and of course I put the things we use the most at the front and all the stuff we don't use as much at the back, so that way it's super functional for everyone who cooks here, which is my husband and I. We work together. Some nights he cooks the meals, other nights I do, and then we always try to involve our kids as well. So that way everyone knows where everything is, and we can just jump right into that cupboard and find what we need when we need it. Now I moved on to our pantry. This is the only pantry we have in our house. It's not a very large pantry, as you can see. I think a lot of people live in a home like this, just a typical older home where there isn't a huge walk-in pantry and you have to deal with the space that you have. So again, I'm just using containers that I already had. I took some out of my refrigerator that I was using to organize stuff in there. I decided that having bins in the refrigerator just wasn't working for us, so I could use them in this cupboard instead. I'm using this yellow container here. This is just from IKEA. It's something that we have quite a few of because I use them in my youngest son's room. And this is great for dried goods because I don't have to worry about something spilling on it, and it's super affordable. So that is working for us. And again, I'm putting things that we don't use as often at the very bottom and things that the kids could get at as well. How I've organized this is I have a 3-tier plastic riser back here where I can stack up all of our canned food. Then I just have the 3 things we use all the time over the side. And then this has all the oils and vinegars in it. Down here, we have all the backup supplies. So none of that is currently being used back there. This is used, and then I constantly refill this because we go through oatmeal all the time. Then this is something that I am going to be trying to do, which is making beans, not from the can obviously, but from scratch. So that's a project I'm going to start working on. Down here I have all of our dried goods. So we have pastas and rice. Back there we have all the nuts, and then I normally don't decant stuff like this, but because we had 2 bags open and then it ripped, I decided to put those in there. Then down here we have this huge bag of ready-made pancake mix. I like this just for the kids because they can do it themselves then. And then these are all the extra water bottles that we rarely use, and then just all the vegetable broth in the back there. So this is kind of our pantry stockpile backup area for when we need to make something. This has made a huge difference when it comes to trying to cook something. I can find everything really quickly now. And of course, it does not look like a Pinterest picture that you're gonna see on the internet, but that's because this is a very deep pantry and a small pantry at that. So you gotta work with what you have. Here's a project that I wanted to do to get more organized in the kitchen is I've had this recipe book. It's really cute for a long time, but it's too small. It's not an 8.5 by 11 book, which is really annoying because that means if I want to put a recipe in here, I have to copy it down onto one of these little cards. And I'd rather just print it out and punch 3 holes in it and put it into a regular sized binder. So what I did was I already had this 3-ring binder, so I'm going to use this. Then I simply ordered some dividers that are actually page protectors as well, so I can even print out something pretty that has the type of recipe, so breads or desserts, whatever I want to do with that. And then I also ordered these recipe card sized holders that are 8.5 by 11, so I can transfer all of my recipes I already have written out into this. So yay, this is something I wanted to do for quite a while. And the other thing I wanted to be able to do was put things like this. It's kind of the how-to guide on using the ice cream maker, plus it has recipes in it as well. And I wanted to have that in my recipe book just so I could have a one-stop place to find everything and have everything super organized. Obviously, these weird little scraps of paper I will eventually type up and put into an actual recipe card, but for now I just want to make it as easy as possible. I will link the supplies I bought off Amazon down below in case you're interested in doing something similar. What I love about this is I can completely customize it, and this is just the beginning of this project for me. I intend to add tons of recipes to this as I find what I truly love making. I am so excited to have this done. It's something I have wanted to do for a long time. I will be decluttering this, and this will be the new recipe book. What I love about it is, even though there's probably no rhyme or reason to anyone else on how I did this, but it makes the most sense to me. So labeling things like breakfast, dessert, dinner, smoothies, bread, like all the things we actually eat and want recipes for are going to be in this book. So I'm excited, and I have tons of extra space for new recipes that I can add in here. And the great thing is when I find a good recipe online, I can just print it, 3-hole punch the paper and put it straight into here. So very excited. In one of my previous kitchen refresh videos, I made these curtains out of some fabric, and when I was at the fabric store the other day, I saw this really cute pattern. I think it's perfect for a kitchen. It has kitchen scales on it and fruits and things like that. It's just so stinking cute, and because our kitchen tile is this almost this exact background color, kind of a mint color, I thought it would look really cute in here. So I think what I might do is just pull down these curtains and use them as a pattern for this one. I love when I can refresh our home in a way that is super affordable, homemade, and unique. This is one of those projects. All I had to do was buy the material and then sew it up. At this point though, I'm realizing that I don't have enough material, so I decided to make some banana bread instead of working on the curtains, so that way I could put this banana bread together, put it in the oven, let it start cooking, and then one of my sons and I ran to the fabric store because it is literally around the corner. I bought an extra yard of fabric, which was exactly what I needed. In hindsight, after doing the project, I probably should have got another yard and a half because the curtain ended up being somewhat short, but it's okay. It's more the feel of the change and the bright material. It's not like these curtains are lifetime curtains for us or anything expensive. I think the material was $4. So as you can see, even though I am refreshing the kitchen this day and that's my main goal, I'm also doing a lot of other things. We dropped off some library books at the library while we were out, and I had to return something to a store. So we ran all those errands and then came back and watered some plants and ended up making some dinner for this night. And so just being in the kitchen and getting everything organized and set up was the goal for this day. This banana bread turned out so good. Everybody loved it. I am practicing using a recipe that I truly love that I will link down below, but I'm trying to take the oil out of it, and it makes it a little different, but I will link the recipe down below in case you want to try it out. I started the curtains the next day because I think it's good to start on a fresh night's sleep rather than be too tired trying to sew and work on something too late into the night. And I'm just so happy with the way these turned out. They look so cute, and it really didn't take too much time and energy to put these together and give our kitchen a fresh new look. If you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button to join my channel. Thank you so much for being here today with me, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!